Well, hey there, it's Bobi, aka Paginator, and I'm in my car, which must mean a bookspedition. Sorry, the camera's moving a bit. I have no tripod in this car. Imagine that. So, what's happening today is that I am headed to Salt Lake City. I am not going to my usual stops at Barnes & Noble in the King's English, though. I have a whole bunch of different expenses in May, like not more than usual, but just different, like graduation presents for my high school kids and so on. And so I'm not going to be going to the regular bookstores and spending a crap ton on books. I have other things to take care of. But what I am going to be doing is going to the Goodwill outlet to search for junk journaling supplies. I have heard amazing things about this store, and I guess we'll see what happens when we get there. In the meantime, as I'm making the journey, I'm going to play a couple of flip-throughs for you of some altered book junk journals that I have made. One was for my graduate school thesis director, and the other one is for my mom. On the video for my mom, it did for some reason cut out just before it got to the last 2 pages, and I didn't have time to refilm, so my apologies there. You won't see the last 2 pages. It'll be okay. Anyway, enjoy those, and I'll see you in a little bit. Hey, I'm back. Holy crap, that was crazy. I went into the Goodwill outlet store, also known as the bins, and it is chaos. I wanted to do some filming in there, but it was everything I could do to try to hold myself together with my anxiety and credit spaces. I got there at 9:30 in the morning on a weekday, and there was jillions of people everywhere. It was a miracle I got a cart, but I came out with a cart full of books and things I can use in junk journaling, as well as some fabric and cloth items as well. I can't show you everything right now because it's all in a box in the back of the car, but when I have time to properly sit down, I will show you what I get, or what I got. I'm frazzled. There was also another thing that made me a bit frazzled. As I was heading to the checkout, this woman came up to me and said in Spanish, "Is this your cart?" And I said, "Yes, it's mine. I've had it for a half an hour." And she just walked away. But then she freaking watched me check out and watched me leave the building with the cart. Like, I don't know why she thought that it wasn't my cart. I had it the entire time. Every item in there was picked out by me. Yikes. I'm just, yeah. we're out, we're safe, and we're ready to go on to the next stop. We're going to be hitting up Joann Fabric in Riverdale, Utah. I'm going to be picking out some quilt fabric for my students. We make a quilt at the end of the year, so I'm going to be getting the background fabric for that, and possibly some crafting supplies as well. We'll see how it goes. Back in the office. So it's actually been a couple of days since I filmed the last bits for you guys. After hitting up Joann Fabric Store, I went to my parents' house and spent a couple of days with my family there. It was delightful, but now I'm back home and heading off to teach school in the morning. But we're gonna go through everything that I got on my trip. So I'm going to start with the stuff I got at Joann's just because it actually is sitting on top of my stack of stuff. It'll just be easier that way. So some of this I filmed on my phone. I forgot to bring my camera, this camera that I'm talking to right now, into the store with me, and I didn't want to walk back out to the car. I know. So some of this you saw in my cart. I think there are a couple things you didn't see. Anyway, I got this magazine, which I've never gotten before. It's called Somerset Studio, an interactive mixed media journal, and it's a quarterly magazine, and I like it so much that I'm thinking about subscribing. It has lots of like interactive pages, as well as pages you can pull out and use in projects. Like this page right here is done on thicker paper so that you can use it for scrapbooking or whatever you want, and that's just one of several pages like that. We also have some pages, for example, here that will have activity prompts and then give you a bunch of places to work. This one in particular says grab paint, ink, papers, whatever you can find that is a certain color. Create a monochromatic background on this page using that color. There's some articles of interest. There's some more pages to use. A piece about playing with paper dolls, and you could like make photocopies of this and use the pieces to make all different kinds of paper dolls. Yeah, here's another piece of the paper that you can take out and use. This is just beautiful. It might go in my steampunk journal that I'm planning on making at some point. Yeah, it just seems like a really fun magazine, and I'm going to be looking into maybe subscribing to it. Again, it's called Somerset Studio. What I don't have with me right now while I'm filming is the fabric. It's been cut into squares for my kids' quilt that we're making, but you saw that in the little video. And I also bought some related items. The fabric all had honeycomb on it and bees and stuff. And this ribbon, all their bee stuff was on sale, like 40% off, so I got a spool of this ribbon. I don't think that it'll be used on the quilt unless I stitch like some scraps of ribbon onto my quilt square, but I could use it in a junk journal entry about this quilt and about my shopping trip, perhaps, and it was just really cute ribbon, so I wanted it. One other bee-related item, this is a sew-on patch. We've got 3 little bees and then some swirly twirlies. I think you can actually cut these apart. I might put these on our quilt or, again, just on my quilt square. We'll just see how that goes. I also picked up a paper pack by Bo Bunny. This is their 36 pages of Tuxedos and Tiaras collection. It's all black and white prints. When I make my steampunk junk journal, I'm going for black and white and neutral tones, browns, tans, etc. Maybe a little bit of blue stuck in here and there. Also, for my steampunk junk journal, I bought this packet of Tim Holtz layer pieces, and you can see this guy with the fabulous mustaches there, and here are all the pieces you can get in this set. And then I also got these little type chips. They're little metal pieces, and each are a different letter, both upper and lower case. So you can see T here, U, B, but, and I can use these on my junk journal pages. The last item I got is a punch board that creates envelopes. This you can also use to create just a little notchy punch in a piece of paper as well. And I've been eyeing this for a while, and Joanne had it on sale the day that I was there, so I went ahead and got it. Alright, so now we're ready to get into the stuff that I picked up at the Goodwill outlet. I'm going to start with the fabric/clothing items first and then get into the paper items. So I actually picked up this hat just because I wanted the patch. It says Rock and Roll USA, and it has these metal brads on it. I don't really want the hat. I wouldn't wear a hat that someone else wore anyway, but I'm going to take the patch off of this and use it somehow. I just thought it was cool. Now, if you've never been shopping at a Goodwill outlet, it is phenomenal. Like, they charge by the pound, and it's like, I think books are 57 cents a pound. Anyway, everything that I'm going to show you costs a total of like $24. And it's a massive box full of stuff. $24 for the whole thing. So keep that thought in mind. So starting with this hat. Alright, continuing on with fabric items. This is a big piece of like tulle with some little sparklies on it, and I thought my students would get a kick out of using this either for junk journal closures or scraps. It's massive, so I can use it with a whole bunch of kids. They can each have a piece of it or more, and I thought that would just be handy. Plus it's pretty. Sorry, there's crinkling paper making noises in the background. So much stuff here. Similar kind of color vibe to that first one. This is black and silver, just a scarf with roses on it. Again, I thought it could be used as scrap fabric or as junk journal closures for some of my kiddos. This piece is kind of like a great big tea towel. It's got some really pretty embroidery on it, and I can either cut this up for scraps to use with junk journaling or maybe dye some of the white parts that don't have anything on them and use it for scraps or closures. This, I think, was probably a placemat, a fabric placemat, and I thought it might be cool to do like a cloth cover for a junk journal out of, or maybe pieces of it would be. Here we've got another scarf, and we've got some starfish on it and some teal things. I'm going to be going to Hawaii later this year, and at the very least, this will give me some like tropical-esque fabric scraps to use in a possible journal about my trip there. This is a little jacket. I wish I was skinny enough for this to fit me because it's super cute, but since I'm not, I'm going to be cutting these bits out to use maybe as closures or just embellishments on different pieces with junk journaling. And we also have some of these little hooks here, which can come in handy when you're creating fasteners and closures. And I have two more knitted pieces, and these are going to stay at my house. They're not going to get cut up. These are just background props for my Instagram. So especially getting into the fall season and winter and stuff, sweaters are like a big handy thing to use as backgrounds on Instagram. And so I got this kind of brown mustardy colored one that I could just use as a simple backdrop. And then I also got this white one, which is an infinity scarf, but could be, you know, laid in such a way that it looks kind of sweatery and cozy. Next thing I want to show you is this little box. It has the word X-Acto on it, which is a brand of crafting knife, but I just got it to help me organize little bits and pieces in my crafting supplies. You can never have too many organization helpers. Okay, we still have loads of stuff to get through. Are you ready? Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these laminated sets of river maps, and they all have laminated covers, and then there's just regular paper on the inside. But we have lots and lots of maps, and these can be used for signature pages, backdrops, etc. And there are also some photos as well that could possibly be used in a junk journal, just depending on the content. Some of them would be better for that than others, but I mean, loads and loads of maps. So this one is specifically to the Middle Fork and Main Salmon Rivers in Idaho. This is the San Juan River, Desolation and Gray Canyons, and Dinosaur National Monument. Speaking of which, so Dinosaur National Monument is in my home state of Utah. I now live in Wyoming, but grew up in Utah. It is a great place to go, especially if you have kids that are into dinosaurs. Like, take them to Dinosaur National Monument. It's amazing. They can dig fossils and have this amazing experience learning about dinosaurs. Plus, as an adult, it's kind of fun too. I also have another river-related item. This is a river cruising atlas, so we have more maps and things. And this is featuring the Snake River, which largely flows through Idaho, but also other places. It is a river that I have rafted, not the entire thing, but a bit of it near the Jackson Hole, Wyoming area. Is that where I rafted? Somewhere near there. Anyway, yeah, just more pages that can be used for signatures or backgrounds on journal pages. Next we have this paper bag, which in itself could be used for something. And inside we have some scrapbook paper. So these are by Authentique, and this is from the Joyous collection. Alright, we have just barely scratched the surface. I don't know if you guys are still hanging in there. If you are, give me a thumbs up emoji or something to let me know that you've made it at least this far in the video. Alright, next up. You guys, the box is still full. Like, all that stuff I just showed you was sitting on the top. But, next item, this is a little booklet. It says, Close Your Flight Plan. And it's got some flight maps and things on it. Airport layout, locations in different places. I would imagine it's for pilots. And it is created by the Montana Aeronautics Division. This book is just a beautiful old hardback book. It says Veritas on the front, and it says Collins to Fitzgerald on the spine. This is part of a series, the Harvard Classic Series Deluxe Edition, and it's English poetry. This is volume 2 of 3. And so Collins to Fitzgerald is going to be fairly modern, but also not too modern, because the book itself is copyrighted in 1938. And so it starts off with this lovely illustration here, and we've got a whole bunch of English poetry starting with William Collins, and we're going through poets like, let's see who else I can call out here that I remember from my British Lit courses. John Dunlop, William Blake, William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. That guy was nuts. So were a lot of poets, I feel like. Sir Walter Scott, Thomas Campbell, Shelley, Percy Shelley, Thomas More, John Keats, Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I was going to be mad if she wasn't in here. And Edward Fitzgerald. And the whole book is just full of poems, so I have two possible purposes for this. I could read it for what it is, as a collection of English poetry, or I could pull out the pages and use them. I could also use the spine for something. We'll see. Alright, keeping in mind that most of these books are bought for junk journaling purposes, we're just going to try to cruise through some of these so this video doesn't take super long time. This is called, This is Our Town, New Edition, Faith and Freedom. And it's got color illustrations. It's got some text in here. It looks like short stories. Again, kind of cute illustrations that could possibly be used. I mean, here's some people getting on a train. A mom and daughter probably doing some Christmas shopping. Here is a children's book about the Loch Ness Monster by Ellen Rabinowitz. Fun illustrations. I have ancestors from Scotland, which I'm very proud of. So if I do I have a bullet journal that's Scottish themed and specific to my Scottish ancestry, but I could have a little section on Nessie maybe and use some of the information and pictures from this book. This is a little book called Thank You for Being There, and it has a personalized note. The original owner is addressed as Doobie, and it's hard for me to tell who the person is that gave that to them, but it's full of just purple kind of themed pages. Some have quotes on them and different things, and I thought I could just use this as like little scraps for any purple aesthetic kind of things I want to do. Another picture book, Cat Goes Fiddly Fee by Paul Galdone. This, of course, is about a cat. And we also have some other cute farm animals in here. And growing up in an agrarian area, and my family still has cows and horses and things, it's just natural for me to love farm animals. I showed sheep when I was in high school. They're so dumb. Moving on, Montana's Historical Markers. This is another book from Montana with information, and these pages are basically, they look like historical trail marker signs, and they have a whole bunch of things. Here's one about the Crow Indians, Meterville, Butte, southeastern Montana, the Blackfoot Nation, Sweetgrass Hills, Early Day Outlaws, Reynolds Pass, Fort Union, and so on. I never lived in Montana, but my sister did, and so I've traveled through there. It is a beautiful, beautiful state. Loved my trips there. Alright, so these two little baggies were hidden underneath the books, but they're just kind of a thicker fabric, a little bit meshy, that I thought maybe I could use somehow, maybe even just the front side that doesn't have printing on it, as pockets or something. This is another river guide. It is a waterproof river guide of Desolation and Great Canyons, and again we have maps, and these are beautifully colored and really gorgeous. We also have photographs as well. Here is a cute children's book, How to Care for Your Monster by Norman Bridwell, and you can see on the cover there is a Frankenstein's monster there and a kid coming down the stairs. All the illustrations are done in this green and black tones, which could be fun to play with. Now this is a blank bullet journal with the grid dot paper on it, completely unused, except for one page. So I'm going to find it. It has some stamps on it. So I can either cover those up or work them into whatever I want to use this page for. Here is a pack of greeting cards that were all just looped together with a rubber band. Alright, now this sucker is heavy. This is a binder called Success with Houseplants, and it is just full of cards with different plants on them. They're all different things. So here we've got variegated yam. We've got some that are flowers, Chilean bellflower, etc. And these can all just be cut apart and used. Flowers and fruits and things are great to use in junk journaling, so it'll just be handy, handy, handy. My students are going through the flower stuff that I have like crazy, so this will be added to our classroom stash. Oh, these papers have fallen out of what they were tucked into, but this is just a really thin piece of old paper, which is always, always useful. And another piece of older paper. Somebody's child has drawn on the back. I obviously won't use that side, but I could use this side for something. It's really beautifully aged well. This was another loose thing. It was a little ad for something, and I just thought this picture was so cute. And here we have a book, The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. This I actually bought with the intention of reading because I've heard really great things about this. It's a memoir, I believe, about a girl who had to go through quite a bit of abuse. Her father was an alcoholic, and she had a hard life. Her mom didn't want to raise a family, and yeah. So she had to learn how to take care of herself, as did her siblings. Up next we have a Favorite Recipes Cookbook. I could use the recipes for background things, decorations, scraps, etc. Or I could actually like make the food in the recipes. Old Testament cake. Do you make a cake out of the Bible? Oh my gosh. So, I don't like to put religious things in my video, but this is just like a funny thing. So, Old Testament cake, it has scriptural references, so you have to look up the scriptures and find out what's in there. That's awesome. Soft pretzels, dill soup, peanut butter soda cracker candy, caramels, wassail. Lots of fun recipes in here. I do love a good flip through a recipe book. It will make me hungry, but also make me think I need to plan my meals a little bit better. All right, we've got 4 more items. We're almost there. This is just a little flip book. It's meant to be used to organize photos, but I could also use it to organize ephemera. Here we have a copy of The Velveteen Rabbit, which is a beloved children's book by Marjorie Williams. And again, just a book with great illustrations. This one is Draw 50 Princesses, so it's an art instruction book by Lee J. Ames. And we've got some fairies and princesses here. So I could cut this up to use on different junk journal pages, or learn how to draw the princesses, I guess. And last but not least, we have a book called Exploring Under the Sea, and this is by Sam Hinton, illustrated by Rudolph Freund, and it is from the year 1957. We have, again, more old-fashioned illustrations of things. My arms are so tired from holding up books. We made it. If you made it to the end of this video, stick in like a book emoji, or if you can't do the regular emojis, because I know at least one of you out there can't do that, do like a little "hey yo, I made it to the end" or something, just so I can tell who made it through all of this madness with me. Yeah. So there we go. There is our giant haul. Yikes, can you believe I got so much stuff at Goodwill? Like, I'm still amazed that I got all of that stuff for $24. Just shocking. If it wasn't so chaotic there and I wasn't accosted by someone trying to steal my cart, I'd want to go again. I don't know if I'm going to, though. We'll see. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you all are having a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.